All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies course, I've been creating a series of video presentations based off of the Mozilla Developer Network's Learn Web Development series, and I'm in the client-side JavaScript frameworks React Getting Started section. And last time, and I apologize for this in advance, I sometimes in my zeal to get going here go and jump ahead, and I shouldn't have done that. So I went back, and it says this is what our app component should look like. So that's what mine now does look like. In fact, I copied it in there, and so now this does work. All right, so I've got that in there. And again, I think one of the things that they told us to do was to change. Well, let's just follow their instructions, okay? All right. So let's open the index. All right. And it says it initially looks like this, and ours did, except instead of service worker, we had the web vitals. All right. All right. And they had said that we could come in here and we could remove the stuff that was on the bottom. I said I just commented out. Let's just follow their lead, and I'm just going to remove it. So there it is. That's gone. That should have no effect on my running program. Okay. So down to variables and props. It says back in the app.js, let's focus on this line. Here the image tag source attribute is the value in curly braces. We already saw that. All right. Let's try making a variable of our own. Before the return statement, add this line. So let's come in and add that line. And that's just adding a very simple variable, subject variable that says React in it. Okay. Now, that's going to have absolutely no effect on here. If I take a look at what I've got, I shouldn't get an error or anything else. I'm not using the variable yet, so it still says hello world. Everything's fine. All right. Change line 8 to use our subject instead of the word world like this. So I'm going to change hello world to hello subject. Whoops. Well, let's try that again. There we go. Now I think if I go and try to refresh this, I will get an error because I'm not there yet. So when you save, your browser should display hello React instead of hello world. Well, let's see if that's the case. It says subject is not defined, no undef. Well, something is goofed up, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. Let's see if we can find out what it is. Hello subject, and oh, I put this, no I didn't, where is it? All right, I don't see it there. So I need here const subject equals React. Let's see if that fixed it. It should drop that React into here if I did that correctly. And it's changed to hello React, and my error is gone. Well, that's good. When you save, it should now say hello React instead of hello world. And they wanted, did I remove that? No, that was in there. So does it say hello React with an exclamation point? Yes, it does. Okay, looking good. All right. Again, a prop is any data passed into a React component. React props are comparable to HTML attributes. We talked about that before. Let's open up the index.js and give our app call its first prop. Add a prop of subject to the app component call in index.js. When you're done, it should look like this. So that React DOM.render that's in our index.js line or file. All right, I think I've copied it in already, but just to be sure. So I think that's already in there. So I'm going to remove that one. All right, so they asked us to put that in. Back in app.js, let's visit the app function itself, which reads like this with the return statement. Change the signature of the app so that it accepts props as a parameter and delete the subject const. All right. Hopefully that fixed it. And save. Did I do it in the right file? I think so. Now, did I break it? Yes. So subject is not defined in app.js. So let's see if we can fix this. Change the signature of the app function. Back in app.js, let's revisit the app function itself, which reads like this. Change the signature so that it accepts props. I did that. And delete the subject const. Just like any other function parameter, you can put it into a console.log statement to print that out. Go ahead and do that before the return statement, which is what we put there. So this was in the app.js, which is here. So we changed it to function app props, console.log props return. All right, and I think, well, let's look in here. Now we've got here subject equal Clarice, but I don't think subject is any longer being sent anyplace. In other words, it's not, I think that's why I'm getting the error. All right, well, we'll go back and we'll look at this in just a minute, but it says, now that subject is one of our props, let's utilize it in app.js. Change the subject constant so that instead of defining it to be React, which is what we had before, all right, putting it in here. All right, now let's see if we fixed it. And it's back to hello Clarice. The key takeaway from this is what we're doing here is we are passing in, for our props, we are passing in this. So we are from our index.js is passing into our app.js, and we're telling it that that subject is props.subject, and then we're saying subject in here. All right, so rather than coding it directly in one file, we're passing it in from another file. All right. So it says if you return to index.js and you change it, so let's change it to Jeffrey P. Scott, and you save, and you go back, there it is, once I refreshed. Oops, oh, darn it. Don't know how I did that, but somehow I removed that. So let me get it back because we're just about finished with this one. All right, so like I said, we've just about finished with this first one. This brings us to the end of our initial look at React, including how to install it, how to create a starter app, and how basics work. And in the next one, we'll start building this to-do list. Before we do that, it says let's recap some of the things that we've learned. So first, components can import modules they need and must export themselves at the bottom. What does that mean? I want to go over all this because I want you to understand this. So let's go back to our app file. So components can import modules they need, and they must export themselves down at the bottom so they can be used by others. Component functions are named with Pascal case. That's why the A in app is uppercase. You can read JSX variables by putting them in curly braces. We already saw that. Some JSX attributes are different than HTML attributes, so they don't conflict with JavaScript, such as class name. Props are written just like attributes inside of component calls and are passed in. So that was what we passed in. And in here, we said props were going to be passed in. And there it was. Now, I never checked this, but let's see if we come in here. Can I right mouse click and inspect and go over to our console? And there it is. Their subject was Clarice. Mine, since I changed it to my name, is Jeffrey P. Scott. All right, so that'll finish up. Get that back over here where it belongs. That will finish up our first iteration of this. So again, we are into React. We're not going to do the Ember. We're not going to do the Vue or the Svelte or the Angular. So beginning our React to-do list is what comes next. I'll be back with that shortly.